This is the 2026 Cadillac Escalade IQL, and in today's Vehicle Visionary video, I'm going to give you the ultimate tour. Hey everybody, it's Tom from Vehicle Visionary. I hope you're having a great day. We're at Or Cadillac in Shreveport, Louisiana. Check out the link down in the description of the video if you want to know more about this particular model, which can be shipped anywhere you live, even if you don't live in Northwest Louisiana. Give Pablo a call. I'll leave his information on the screen for you. Give him a call and let him know that Tom from Vehicle Visionary sent you his way. You have a very nice look here, a little bit different than the other Escalades that are out there, such as what we see right over here. A little bit more of an aerodynamic look. Now that is intentional because of the fact that aerodynamics is a big deal when it comes to keeping your charge capacity up on an EV. You will find your animated headlights, and everything is LED here. Everything comes to life. In fact, when you walk up to the vehicle, it is nice and bright. Now, any flickering that you may see there is going to be based on what you're seeing on the screen through my camera, so it's not actually doing that. Now, you will find illumination with the grille right here in this area, the illuminated Cadillac logo, and obviously illumination all the way down here in this area as well. You will have airflow in for the battery to help keep that cool. A lot of advantages there. And all-wheel drive, that goes without saying. Now here's the impressive thing. This model has a 0 to 60 of around 4.7 seconds. Top speed is governed to 112 miles per hour. I don't know if I'd want to go much faster in something this big, but you'll find the 24-inch wheels. And one thing about EVs that we've seen over the years is a lot of them have what I would refer to as gaudy looking wheels. They are specifically designed for the purpose of aerodynamics. In this case, I'd say these are some of the best looking wheels on the market as far as this Escalade IQL goes. Tell me what your thoughts are where that is concerned. The side view mirrors will feature everything you are looking for. However, they are heated, they're power adjustable, they're power folding, and you will find your blind spot monitoring is built in right there. And something that's interesting here, there's a pad or button on the inside of the door handle right there. You push that, the door will automatically open just like that. And there's a few different ways you can do this, not only on the exterior and opening and closing with the handles on the outside and the inside, but also with the lower screen in the driver's area. Nice large windows, very easy to see out of. We're going to have the roof rails up top, and I like that gloss finish with the black on the top area here. It really matches the exterior color down here as well. And we're going to take a quick look here at our LED tail lights, so you can see how that looks. Again, the animation not only in this lower area right here, but you can also see right up here. I do like the fact that the rear window wiper is neatly tucked away inside of the rear roof spoiler. And there are some of our logos. Main thing here, the IQL logo right there. And how about the numbers? There's actually a couple of different numbers that come in when it comes to horsepower and torque. If you are using normal or the default driving mode, you're looking at 680 horsepower and 615 pounds-feet of torque. However, if you go with Velocity Max mode, the numbers increase to 750 horsepower and 785 pounds-feet of torque. And earlier in the video, I gave you the 0 to 60 of 4.7 seconds and top speed of a governed 112 miles per hour. That might be more impressive when you know that this vehicle weighs over 9,400 pounds. Driving distance on a single charge is about 460 miles. And how about your charging times? About 117 miles of range in 10 minutes. Now, some real-world numbers from those who have actually done this for real: 110 miles in 10 minutes, 204 miles in about 20 minutes. And let's talk about capabilities. You can tow up to 7,500 pounds, and I will open the e-trunk here. We have 12.2 cubic feet worth of cargo space up here, a little bit extra. There's a decent amount in the rear, a little bit extra here in the front. You can see the space that goes quite far back. That's one of the big advantages of having a full-size EV SUV like this. And here is the remote. You can see everything that you have as far as lock, unlock, remote start. You can open and close your e-trunk and open and close the power tailgate. And there are a number of ways you can gain access to your cargo space here, including just touching the logo right there. And there is a button on the remote and a button on the interior. How about your cargo space here in the rear? We're looking at 23.6 up to 69.1 up to 119.1 cubic feet, depending on how you configure things. You have your buttons right here that you can use to lower these middle seats down, and depending on where the middle seats are positioned will determine whether or not that seat goes all the way down. You will find nice bright cargo lighting here in the rear area, a power outlet right there, and underneath the floor, space for your charging cable and whatever else you might be able to make fit in that area. You will also have a panoramic sunroof, and you will find plenty of space in the rear seating area. Something I like here, we have the executive package, which means you're going to have a lot of great options here, including what appears to be a center console. However, here's what happens when we start folding things out, just like this. I can't unfold that, unfortunately, because it has the tape around it. But that's a table right there, kind of like being in an airplane almost. But you can see that there's one here for the passenger side and the driver's side. Just to show you a little bit of what is here where that is concerned. Very comfortable seating. They are going to be heated and ventilated here in the third row area. That's a big deal. That's always nice to have. We can adjust the fan speed and the temperature and all that good stuff depending on what we want to do. And we're going to go right here. See the seat right there? That will allow you to go in and adjust the temperature. So you can turn on the heat. You have 3 different stages there. We'll turn that off because we don't really need that right now. Turn that off, and we'll go to the ventilated seats. I can actually use that today. It is still pretty warm here in Northwest Louisiana as of today in late August. Now, if you don't worry about the temperature, or maybe you want the temperature and you want a massage, you can do that on both seats. You can also adjust the positions as far as that goes, and all you're going to do is select right there, and that allows you to adjust depending on what you want to do, forward or rearward. That's interesting, a word I can't say I've seen before, but I think you figure out what's there. I don't need to show you too much, but you can see what all you can adjust as far as that goes. There's a lot going on here. In fact, you have everything for your doors right here. You can open the door by sliding your finger across there, or close it by sliding it back this way. You can lock and unlock. Very interesting to see what all is here. You also have your ambient lighting adjustments, depending on what you want to do where that is concerned. You can have the overview, customize, as you can see right there. You can also go in and adjust your brightness. And go into your styles right here and modes. While it looks like there's a lot going on here, don't let that fool you. It's not very complicated. Wireless charging, we actually have 2 wireless charging pads here, a couple of cup holders up there, and the air conditioning vents. And the thing I like about the rear area is the air conditioning vents are located in the roof area. The good thing about that is that it's a lot closer to the passenger as opposed to having it down in this area as you do in some SUVs. Rear seat pockets, and to keep the kids and the adults entertained, we have the screens back here on the back of both seats. Quite a bit going on. Very convenient. And I like that we have the solid piece of glass for the panoramic sunroof. There's no piece in the middle that protrudes and kind of gets in the way of the view. You have this entirety of the view, depending on where you're driving and what people want to see, that really makes it a nice experience. The sticker price, $165,940. Let's see what else you get for that price. Nice large armrests and door bins, which we had on the rear as well. I know I didn't talk about that, but you can see all of the controls for seat memory and the seat settings on the door right there. Very convenient as far as that goes. You will also find heated and ventilated seats. We're going to have the speakers built into the headrests that make for a very nice experience. In fact, we also have that with the rear seats. Didn't mention that earlier in the video. And so much room in all 3 rows. That is not something I can say about every SUV on the market. You'll also find the digital rear view mirror. And with our upper console couple of different things people like to know about. You do have the button right here, something that is not in the screen. The majority of functions of this vehicle are found in the center screen, but to turn your hazard lights on, it's located right here. You can see some of the other controls and switches that we have as far as that is concerned. And as I mentioned earlier, just about everything is in a screen as far as your different controls, including how you open the glove box. It's going to be right here. See that icon right there? That's the glove box. So that's how you open that. Now you can see what's within that area. Quite a bit of space as far as that goes. Over here on the driver's side door, we're basically going to have the same things we had on the passenger side, with the exception of the controls for the windows and the mirrors and all that good stuff. You will have your power folding side view mirrors. As I told you earlier, if you want to use that function, that's one of the ways you can do it. You can see your power parking brake is here. I know a lot of people like to know about that, and so they ask, where is the power parking brake located? And via the control right here with those up and down arrows, you can raise and lower the height of the vehicle. Depending on what you need to do with the ride height, there's quite a few different options there. You can see that we can control that by simply scrolling to, or pushing the button, I should say, to get to wherever we want to. I don't know if I'd call that scrolling so much, but that's what you have as far as that goes. Tilt and telescopically adjustable steering wheel. It is power adjustable via the button right there. And you can see your steering wheel mounted controls. You'll also find Super Cruise. The indicator right there is going to let you know what's going on where that is concerned. Pretty easy to deal with. Can't demonstrate that today because we're not getting out on the road for a test drive, but just to show you some of the things that are here. There is so much going on that I could probably spend time on this screen by itself. But speaking of screens, 55 inches of screen, pillar to pillar. I remember the first time I saw a Cadillac Escalade IQ, it was at the 2023, I believe it was, or maybe 24 Chicago Auto Show, and I was really curious to know if they were really going to have this large of a screen, and sure enough, they did. Do you think it's too much? I'm curious to know. Now, you'll find a lot of typical features and functionality here. You will find the Google Play Store, Google Assistant, all of that's going to be here. And again, our ambient lighting settings will be here with the front seat area as well. And you can make all sorts of adjustments there, as you can see. We're not going to go into that too much, just to show you what's here. We can go into charging right here, hitting some of the highlights depending on what you need to know. And what you need to do, you can do charge now. You can do charge later if you want to. It just depends on your situation and what you need to or want to do. Now, we will have multiple camera views all over the place. We have our overhead view, we have the standard view, and we have the side view, and then you have your 360 right here. Very convenient. That's nice. We hit exit to get out of that screen, and you have everything there for your trailering if you need to do that. And we'll go over here and take a look at what else we have. Pair your phone and do all of those great things. Auto Park Assist is here, your Wi-Fi hotspot. A lot going on. Very bright screens. I like that. We're going to go into settings right here and take a look at a couple of other things that I know people like to know about, especially under vehicle. Now, you can go into drive mode customization right here, depending on what you want to do. You can change the suspension, the steering, the acceleration feel, the motor sound, my mode. So there's a lot of customization there that is available. Doors and locks, valet mode, everything is here. Teen driver, rear seat reminder, buckle to drive, Super Cruise lane change. And if you're wondering what turn signal activated view is, first of all, you have to be in drive for that to work. So when you turn your turn signals on, it's going to let you see what's going on that side of the vehicle, whether it's the left side or the right side. So that's a nice, convenient feature. A good reason to use your turn signals for those of you that don't. Now, how about your collision and detection systems? That's something that a lot of people like to know about. We have forward collision avoidance, front pedestrian braking, intersection collision braking, adaptive cruise speed and signs. You can turn that on and off. Adaptive cruise go notifier, side bicyclist alert, lane change alert, reverse automatic braking, park assist, rear cross traffic braking, and rear pedestrian alert. Very nice features to have when you have a vehicle of this size, because it is fairly large. You'll get used to it quickly, not a big deal. I do like this space right here. It not only looks nice, but it gives you a nice place to rest your hand so that you can do whatever you need to do as far as going into the screen. Now there's where you're going to get to maps. Got all of that where that is concerned. But that is a very interesting thing to note, is what all is in the screen that you end up controlling. And when it comes to controlling a lot of the things you may be looking for, it's actually going to be right here in the lower screen. And the arrow right here in the center is what you need to select so you can see what all you have. You've got your head-up display. I haven't shown you that yet. There it is. Hopefully you can see it. It is nice and bright. There's some adjustability in that, obviously. You have your rear control lock. So basically what that comes down to, if you need to lock things, you can do that. Now, when it comes to locking, for that to be activated, it's highlighted like that in blue. Same thing with your child safety locks. They're not located on the doors themselves, in case you were curious about that. You will hear them lock and unlock, well, potentially, if it's not too loud in the interior. And you can open the glove box again right there, as you can see. Pretty easy to do. You know what's going on there. Door or dome lights, your power window locks, cameras. You can see what all is here as far as that is concerned. But tell me this, would you rather have physical controls, or do you like having everything here in the screen? I know everybody has their personal opinions on all of that. And you can see some of the other features here. If you want to know how to program your garage door openers, here's where you come to do that. Notice I selected right here, and there's universal remotes. And it will walk you through the process of what you need to do. It's actually not complicated, pretty easy to do. What's interesting is you can add up to 8 remotes. How many of you have 8 garage doors that you need to program this vehicle to be able to open and close? I guess if you can afford this Escalade IQL, you can afford 8 garage doors at your house or shop or whatever it is. And there's everything again for the seats, just like we saw in the rear. It's really not any different as far as that goes. Now something right here, notice that area right there. That is your headlights. Everything for your lights. You can leave everything on auto. You can turn them off, turn things on, and you got a couple of other things right there that you can do depending on what it is you want to do. You can also bring up the camera view. Now notice when you push that, it doesn't come up on that screen. It comes up on the screen with the middle screen on the 55-inch upper screen and dash area right there. So just something to note as far as that goes. Your dome lights, and turn that off. Auto high beams. That some of these things I really wish were still, say, on the turn signal indicator, the way they were in the past on other Escalade models. A lot going into the screens that we used to not have in the screen, but some of you are going to like that, some of you aren't. Very interesting. We go in and open and close our doors right here if we want to. It is so convenient to do everything you need to do. I like that. It's easy to get to, but it just depends on what you do and what you don't like. Now, you can adjust the volume right here depending on what you want to do with that. And something else that's nice, notice what's happening on the screen right there. I can actually use the selector right here to do everything on the screen that I need to. I can even come down here and go wherever I want to right there. If I want to go back into settings right there, depending on how I want things to look, just depends. But it's all right here within this area. You can even do this. Notice this. I just touch right here. So depending on what I want to do, if I want to go home, I'm going to just touch right there. So if you don't want to actually touch the screen, that's not a problem. Part of that is because it is kind of far away from the driver's position. So that's one reason you have everything right here as far as that goes. And something else that I really like here is that you have 2 wireless charging pads, 4 total throughout the interior. Very nice. Got our nice large center console lid that doubles as an armrest. Plenty of room within with our USB connectivity. Definitely no shortage of space in the interior of this Escalade IQL. And for those who want to see what is on the screen for the passenger, you can see a little bit of that right there. Just to show you what's here. I know somebody's going to ask if I don't actually show it. And you will have the AKG Studio here as far as your audio goes. 42 speakers throughout the interior. Let me give you a quick sampling of how that sounds. My microphone does a decent job of picking that up, but I tell you what, it's nothing like hearing it in person. So tell me what you think about the 2026 Cadillac Escalade IQL. If you are interested in anything they have here at Cadillac, whether it's this Escalade IQL or something else, give Pablo a shout and make sure to tell him that Tom from Vehicle Visionary sent you. I'd like to say a special thanks to my friends here at the dealership for giving me the opportunity to show you this Escalade today in the video, and I thank all of you for taking the time to watch and give me the opportunity to give you a vision for your next vehicle. If you enjoyed this video, please be sure to hit the like button. Please be sure to subscribe and share this video on your timelines on social media. And if you would like to learn about additional vehicles you may wish to consider purchasing, check out the video that's on the screen right now, and I will see you there.